To keep you excited throughout this session, so we will be talking more about cloud platform in general, as well as the AWS. Okay, as you know, AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. So this is the leading cloud provider. So right now you can see the contents of or the agenda of today's session. Okay, so in the beginning, I will give you an overall idea of AWS. Why it is beneficial for the organizations to use AWS. Okay, and also we'll talk more about the different domains in AWS, how it is catering to the different customers. Right? And next we will be seeing more on AWS compute services. What are the services available and how it is beneficial. Also different storage services in AWS. We'll be going through that. Also the management services in AWS. Okay. And also the security services available in AWS. And also what are the different cloud offerings available in AWS so that the customers can use them in variety of ways, okay, which suits their requirements. Also, after that, I'll be talking about benefits of AWS. Why AWS has become so much powerful and popular, among the customers. Also, to make you more clear on the AWS, I will be speaking about the use case, a general use case, so that you can make yourself familiarized with, AWS, the usage of AWS. And at the end, I will be talking about the career opportunities and job opportunities that are currently there in AWS, right? And how you can prepare for that. In AWS, also we have something like 1 year free subscription available in AWS, where you can put your hands on and learn more about AWS and make yourself, ready for the to work on AWS. So this is a course agenda today, okay. And I am also interested more on taking the Q&A at the end, so that all your queries are answered. So now to begin with, we'll talk about a cloud platform in general, like what is the use of cloud platform, why it has become so much powerful, right? So as I have seen the industry for the past 15 to 20 years, I will give an overall idea why it has become popular and why all the organizations are focusing or pitching towards usage of cloud. On the screen, as you see, there's a cloud and you have all the documents, emails, presentations, everything. And all the users who are smartphone users or tab users or laptop users or desktop users, they are connecting to the cloud to get the content that is required. Okay. I will talk about a general use case, why it has become popular and why there is a lot of future in the cloud. Okay. So let me talk about that first. Okay. Now, if you think of a small organization, right? So to set up that organization, they need an infrastructure, like they need servers, they need to host their website in those servers. They need a small infra team to maintain those servers, right? And they need some support staff. So there's a lot of cost involved just to start up an organization. Okay, so they need to put some money in that. They have to buy servers, physical servers. They have to buy the software, everything. Okay, so there is some X amount of money involved in that. Okay, but if they opt for AWS or any cloud provider to provide them the servers required, infra to be provided for them, for example, to provide some servers, to provide the support, okay, and to maintain those servers, right? So they will be paying directly to the AWS. Okay. So the first X amount that I spoke about, and now the amount that they have to pay to the AWS, right? There's a lot of gap in that. the second scenario where they have to pay amount to the AWS, that is very, very less compared to the initial money they require to set up the infra to run an organization. Okay. And the second advantage is, suppose they got the infra from the AWS, right? So they started using it, and whenever they turn off those servers, right? When they are not using, right? So that amount will be saved. For example, it is like on-demand, payment kind of thing. Like whenever you are using the servers, you need to pay. If you are not using them, you can turn off, and you need not pay for that much time, right? It's like a turn on and turn off, basis. That's the primary benefit that any cloud provider, provides to the customer. As well as the customers who are using this infra from AWS, they need not worry about where to place those servers, or to maintain those servers, to upgrade the software or to upgrade the hardware. They need not worry about all that stuff. Everything will be taken care by cloud provider like AWS, so that customer spends less time or less money, but they have a huge advantage of scaling up or scaling down of the infra on need basis. For example, during some particular time, if they need more servers, they can order instantly on the AWS, and if they don't need those servers at particular time, they can scale down. So this is one. These are few main use cases why all the customers, maybe the startups or the big organizations, why they are moving towards AWS. So these are the general use cases that actually makes AWS popular. Okay. So in the next slides, we'll be seeing more about these services that are offered by AWS. Okay. So now on the next slide, like we have what is AWS, right? So AWS, as I said, it's an Amazon Web Services. It's the world's most adopted cloud platform, the cloud provider, right? There are so many customers who use this AWS currently. And it offers over 200 fully featured services. So in the next slides, we'll be talking more about these services. What are these services? Okay. So it offers over 200 fully featured services. These are all fully featured, not beta version or trial version. These are all fully functional services, and they are provided from data centers all over the world. For example, the customer for AWS might be any place in the world, right? So they have placed their data centers. The AWS has placed their data centers all over the world so that it can cater to the global customers, customers all over the world. And it serves millions of customers, including, as I said, the fast growing startups as well as the large enterprises. Okay. These organizations are looking forward, or they're currently using AWS to lower their costs, the infrastructure cost. Right? That's the main use case. Also, the leading government agencies, currently they are using AWS to lower the cost, to become more agile and innovate faster. So let me talk now more about what is agility that is being provided in AWS, and what is the feature in AWS that makes the startups or the initial or the large enterprises, how they can innovate faster. Suppose, so let's talk about innovation first. For example, some organization X, okay, maybe it's a startup. Okay, let's consider it as a startup. Now, if they want to try out something to provide to their end customers, okay, so if they are using AWS, then they can use the AWS services and come up with the solution faster. Okay. On the other hand, if they don't have any cloud provider like AWS, if they have to set up their own infrastructure, it involves money, a lot of money, it involves a lot of time to set up those servers, right? The databases, the email servers, all of them, it needs time. They need to recruit the employees. They need to take the licenses of different services, individually, and they need to have their own team to serve this, to bring up the infrastructure. But if they use AWS, on the other hand, they can innovate faster because they can quickly order few servers on the AWS. They can quickly set up their email servers. Everything is taken care by AWS. Just by putting a small amount of money in the beginning, they can try out different solutions that they can provide to their end customers. So that's how any cloud platform or cloud provider, they become, or they bring innovation faster to their customers who are using AWS. And the agility wise, why AWS provides the agility? In what way it provides the agility? Agility is like faster, right? Any organization to grow faster. Okay. For that agility, AWS, like you have, as I said, 200 plus fully featured services they can utilize, by paying a small amount of money. Okay. And also it's on use basis. Like if they are not using that services, they will not be charged. Okay. But on the other hand, if they have already brought the large servers and licenses, so even if they use or not, they have already put their money there. That's how these two, innovation and agility, that's how it makes AWS popular, or any cloud provider popular. Let's move to the next slide. So as you see here, these are the different domains available in AWS. So these are the important categories that are there. So under each category, there are different services. But for example, in AWS, if you take how all these services can be categorized, these are the important categories present in AWS. For example, now let's see about compute. Okay, so in the compute you have different services. Okay, so compute is mainly the Windows servers or Linux servers that customers can order on AWS. So once they order, they will be getting the username and password. They can log into their AWS console. They can log into those servers, and they can use it for their purpose. So that's more on compute. Compute also has many servers, different kinds of servers, Windows or Linux or Solaris or AAS400 or whatever you name. You can all get it on compute domain in the AWS. Okay. So this is similar like AWS console. If you log in, then you will have these many categories. And if you drill down into each category, you will have many services available. So we'll see all of them in detail in next slides. So I will just read out these main domains. So first important is the compute, where you can order the servers. And the second is the storage. For example, if you want to save different files of your organization, or you want to save large zip files, or the archiving of data, or like whatever the files that you have for your organization, you can store them securely in the AWS storage. And also the database, if you want Oracle database, or if you want different databases, MySQL, you name any database that is available in AWS. Okay. So also one more use case is like if you order them on AWS, you need not separately pay any license for Oracle or for MySQL or any enterprise editions of the database. Okay. AWS will take care of internally. It's like retailing out. They buy from the Oracle, and they retail it out to the end customers. Okay. These are the three popular or more kind of domains available on AWS. And also you have the migration. So migration is the case where different organizations, for example, initially they might be using .NET, or they might be using backend Oracle, right, for their websites. But they want to migrate to a latest technology. They might migrate from Oracle to MySQL, or from .NET to Java, right? So based on those preferences, they opt for migration of their current infrastructure. So AWS take care of that internally. You need to just place that request of the migration, Okay, and that will be served on AWS. The next category we have is networking and content delivery. Okay. So this is more about the networking and the content delivery of the websites. Okay. So some websites will be more on providing the content to the users. Okay. So those kind of customers, for example, it might be newspaper website, or or the data feed that is available on the internet, right? So those websites, they can opt for the service so that their content can be delivered fast, and there should not be any network lagging, or the latency of the data that is being displayed on the screen. They can opt for the service, and AWS take care of that content delivery. And also you have different management tools. Management tools are nothing but, for example, if I am a customer of AWS, okay, if I have ordered some servers, if I have ordered some database, right? So I go into the management tools and see how much I am using those servers. Okay, am I optimizing those servers to my services, right? So what is the monthly bill, or what is the yearly bill that I am getting? Okay, so that it helps the end customer to minimize their costs. Okay, for example, if some database is on for 24 hours, right? So everything I can see from here, and which will help me to optimize the costs that are involved in the AWS. And next category we have is security, identity, and compliance. So some organizations, they have their own compliance, right? Their own rules, their own security rules, their own the protocols that they provide to their employees. So everything they need to inform AWS. So this is a domain that is available for the end customers, where they can specify what compliance rule they have, what is the identity that they are maintaining in their organization, so that accordingly the usernames, or the username passwords that the employees might need to log into the servers of the AWS. So all that is captured here. They need to place requests here. And the messaging is lot more about emails or the SMS services, right? For example, if any organization who is the customer of AWS, who is using AWS infra, right? So they can set up their own organization email IDs, to their employees, or the SMS that they provide to their end customers, right? They all can use this service. So these are the 8 important domains that are available in the AWS. Okay. So we will see more about individually, right, in the next slides. So moving to the next slide, we'll talk here more about compute domain of AWS. So under the compute in AWS, what are the various services available to the customers? So we'll go through one by one. So the first most important and popular is EC2. Okay, you might have heard about this term, EC2. Okay. So this is more on the general purpose servers like Windows servers, Linux servers, right? So those will be, customer can come in to the console, they can click the EC2, and they can order Windows, Linux, different kinds of servers that they require. Okay. So one particular feature of this is its resizable compute capacity in the cloud, which can be customized according to your node. Okay. So according to our needs, the compute capacity can be resized. Okay. So I'll talk about 2 scenarios where you have the physical servers and where you have the AWS servers. Okay. So in the physical servers, once you brought the physical server into your organization, so there is no way you can instantly you cannot decrease the RAM size, you cannot instantly increase the RAM size. For that you need to bring some person has to come in. They have to open the servers, they have to add more RAM, or remove, decrease the RAM. It needs time, it's not on instant. Okay. But here, Actually, it's all depends on the configuration. You log into your console, you can resize the infra according to your use. So that's one particular peculiar feature about this particular compute service, where those compute capacity. So I just spoke about RAM, but yeah, it need not be alone on the RAM. It can be hard disk. It can be the processors. It can be the what you say the Windows version or the Linux version, right? So all of them can be changed instantly. But whereas in the physical servers, you don't have that much flexibility of resizing the compute capacity. Okay. So that is one particular use, main use case of going for the cloud. Okay. And also, like for example, I will talk about a use case where an end customer is hosting his website. Okay. Maybe it's like some online shopping website. Okay. You might know, like during festive seasons, there will be more customers logging in and buying doing the shopping. Okay. And there is some off season where customer load or that not that many customers log in and do the shopping. Okay. So for this use case, cloud is apt because so during the festive season or during the year end or year end sales or something like that, they can increase the compute capacity in the cloud so that this particular organization can cater to the more customers. Okay, so based on the customers, they can increase the compute capacity instantly, and during the off season, they can lower the compute capacity. Right, that flexibility you have it on cloud. So this is EC2 where you can order different servers, and you have a Lambda service where this is not for hosting an application dedicated, but there might be some background tasks like some cleanup activities or some asynchronous activities where they need to be taken care in the background. Okay, some downloads or something in the organization. So Lambda helps there to perform the background tasks. And the next one you have is the Elastic Bean Stack. Okay, so this is more about customers who use that without worrying about the underlying hardware. Okay, for example, you might be knowing different different codes need different hardware to run or different environments to run. Okay, for example, you have Java, you have Python, you have PHP. They are different environments. Okay, so each of them needs a different settings of the hardware. Okay, so that they can perform, they can run this code. But if you are using Elastic Bean Stack, that is all taken, internally. You need not worry about, okay, will there be any hardware issues or will there be any software issues when I run the code? That is all taken automatically in the background. If you just specify, okay, my environment is Java, okay, I have to run my Java code, so it will provide you the environment. So that is this is a more important feature for the development team who wants to use these servers. They need not do they need not put extra time to build up the particular environment for the particular programs. That is all taken internally. They need to just specify what is the code that they are running. Is it Java or .NET or Python or PHP? That is all taken care internally. And the next service is Elastic Load Balancer. Okay, so this is more on, as I said, it distributes the workload on deployed instances. Okay, for example, based on the based on the servicing of the request, that workload is equally divided on the different deployed instances. So in AWS, you need to specify, okay, this is my instance of the web servers. This is the, I have 3 instances of web server. Whatever the load that is coming in, please equally load, equally balance it among these 3 web servers. That you can specify in the Elastic Load Balancer, so that the load can be balanced. And here, if you mainly you are seeing term elastic, right? In the here also EC2, you see that term E stands for elastic compute. Okay, elastic cloud compute. Okay, so we see more of this term elastic in the AWS. Elastic stands for, as you know, the term elastic, right? It's the flexibility. You know, whenever you need, you can increase that the size or the length, right? And also whenever you don't need, you can decrease the size. So elastic, in the sense, it provides that agility, or it provides that flexibility where users can do the load balancing or the flexible sizing of the compute capacities.